So according to the FBI director, Christopher Wray, he is telling Congress today that they have just 2 weeks to put together a major piece of legislation that would keep the American people safe. I'm going to address what is going on here, how this is going to impact you, and what we will likely see moving forward. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So first off, you need to listen to this statement.
We're working around the clock to identify and disrupt potential attacks by those inspired by Hamas's horrific terrorist attacks in Israel.
So that is just the first piece of this testimony, because this is the FBI director, Christopher Wray. He is testifying before the Senate today. This is before the Senate committee oversight hearing. This is today, okay? The reason why this is so important is because of what we are now facing. There's a deadline. Look at this. This is from the Biden administration. It says the administration to Congress, don't let surveillance authority expire. It says the letter to lawmakers comes as the House navigates 2 competing bills ahead of an end of the month deadline. Yes, that is key. End of the month. The problem with this is if we let this expire, that creates a major gap. And the FBI is saying that this is something that we cannot do. Let's look into the rest of what Christopher Wray is saying. Look at this right here. And again, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below.
I could go on and on about the important work the FBI's dedicated professionals are doing across the entire spectrum of threats each and every day to protect their fellow Americans. But in the time I have here this morning, I want to emphasize the importance of one tool in particular that is indispensable to our efforts to combat threats posed by foreign adversaries, one that will expire in just a few short weeks if Congress does not act, and that is FISA's 702 authorities for the FBI. As this committee knows, 702 allows us to stay a step ahead of foreign actors located outside the United States who pose a threat to national security.
Now I'm going to stop it right there, but we're going to come back to the rest of this. The reason why this 702 is so important is because this allows the FBI to go and do surveillance on people outside of the United States. Okay? And I want to be very clear on this. The reason why there are 2 competing bills is simple. Let's explain the 2 thought process behind this. Okay, this 702. First thought is, if we pass this and we extend this, because it's about to expire at the end of this year, although last year there was a provision in the bill back in, I believe, April, that said it would extend for 1 full year. However, lawmakers are concerned that they could be hit with a lawsuit if they do extend the surveillance without actually passing a new bill. That's one of the key differences. But the reason why this is such a big deal is because if we let this surveillance bill expire, this now means that the FBI cannot go and surveil certain people outside the U.S. that are considered and deemed threats. For example, Hamas, right? The other side of this, because I know I've already talked about this with a couple friends of mine, they're like, why wouldn't we just do it? Here's the reason why. Is because let's say you are a close friend or a relative to somebody, and they are friends with a person, and they're in connection with somebody that is related to somebody else in Hamas. That circle that you just entered into, that means as an American that may be friends with or related to, and they are friends with this group and that group, and they have a connection with Hamas, now means that American is in that circle. So that person could then be surveilled, even though they may be here in the United States. That's the problem, is some are saying that this isn't as clear and dry and that there is a problem because now Americans are being looked into. We are being watched. I don't think anybody can disagree that as Americans, if you have one of these, a cell phone, a computer, a smart TV, you are probably being tracked in some way. Even our cars track us. Yeah, it's that scary. So those are the two different thoughts. Now I want to show you. So this right here is a letter. It's from the Honorable Mark Warren, Lindsey Graham, and John Cornyn. It says, Dear Chairman Warner, Senator Graham, and Senator Cornyn, this responds to your letter to the Department of Justice and the offices of the Director of National Intelligence dated October 26, 2023, about the importance of Title VII of the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, or FISA, or FISA, whatever you want to call it. Especially Section 702 in keeping our country safe. 9 months ago, the Attorney General and the Director of National Intelligence wrote congressional leaders urging Congress to act promptly to authorize Section 702 before it expires on December 31st, 2023, and pledging to engage with Congress on meaningful reforms. Time is running out, and there remains an acute need to reauthorize this critical authority. Now, this letter is 7 pages long. I'm not going to go over this because you would probably be absolutely bored. But let's get back to what the FBI Director, Christopher Wray, had to say. All right? Let's listen in a little bit more on this.
And the expiration of our 702 authorities would be devastating to the FBI's ability to protect Americans from those threats. So let me explain just a bit about what I mean by that. When an overseas cyber criminal breaches a transportation hub, a public utility, or even a children's hospital, 702 is often the tool we use to find victims and get them what they need to get their systems back up and running.
So that's a key piece, okay? That is a key piece because he is saying that this is a tool that they are using. Well, guess what happened less than 2 weeks ago? We had an Iranian-backed group. They were called Cyber Avengers, and I talked about this here on the channel as well. But they attacked hospitals. They attacked a network of hospitals, over 30 hospitals, where a group of hospitals, I think there's like 3 or 5 hospitals, had to divert patients and ambulances coming into their emergency room, had to divert them to another one. So even though that may have been the closest emergency room, they had to divert patients to another hospital because of the concerns, because they were hacked. And this is a massive concern. And this is one of the new concerns we have here in the United States, is that we are going to be the victims of multiple cyber attacks. Not physical attacks, cyber.
And just as important, it helps us identify the next targets so they can defend themselves against an attack. In just one recent cyber case, for instance, 702 allowed the FBI to alert more than 300 victims in every state and countries around the world. And I should add that many of those crucial victim notifications were made possible by our ability to conduct U.S. person queries of our existing 702 collection. When it comes to foreign adversaries like Iran, whose actions across a whole host of threats have grown more brazen, seeking to assassinate high-level officials, kidnap dissidents, and conduct cyber attacks here in the United States, or the People's Republic of China, which poses, in my view, a generational threat to our economic and national security, stripping the FBI of its 702 authorities would be a form of unilateral disarmament.
So we're going to stop it right there. So what he is saying is stripping the FBI of this 702 provision, first off, would be catastrophic. And I just wanted to bring this to your attention because this is on the table. Today is December 5th, 2023. On December 31st, 2023, this will expire. And if this expires, according to the FBI Director, Christopher Wray, he is saying that this would be catastrophic. This could cause many issues. Now, I'm not going to play you this entire thing. This is over 3 hours long. you would be bored out of your mind. And again, this is something I just wanted to pinpoint a few things. First off, this attack by Hamas to Israel, which now has caused Israel to go and defend itself against Hamas, which is actually causing thousands of people to lose their lives in Gaza. This is creating a massive problem. And I only bring this to your attention because experts are now telling us this is going to be worse than what we were originally anticipating. And according to the foreign minister of Israel, he is saying that at its current intensity, this war between Israel and Hamas is going to last at least 2 more months. So, expect the attacks against the United States, whether it's a cyber attack or a physical attack overseas. Expect those to increase. The frequency and the intensity are likely to go up. So, if you have any questions regarding any of this stuff, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. But that is what we know at this time. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.